Hi Stampers, this is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations. Welcome to today's live. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I go live every Monday and Thursday here on my YouTube channel and Facebook page, usually to show you guys some sort of a fun fold card. And I know we're creeping up on Christmas and it's getting to that point where we're almost to the threshold where we can't order for Christmas anymore, but you can. You can still order for Christmas. And there is free shipping going on right now. So you might want to race over to my website and place an order that can be delivered by Christmas. At least that's their hope. As long as the mailman doesn't screw things up, we're good. But there is free shipping today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So tell your husbands. Okay, today's card is a book binding card, and we've done these before, and this one has a surprise. So there's a pop out in the middle. So it's a book binding pop out card. And I'm excited to show it to you. So let's move you down to my desk and we'll get started. Oh, and Karen is our winner from Thursday. Karen needs to go to my website, queenbeecreations.net, to claim her prize. You would add to the address bar the /prize patrol to take you to the Google form where you claim the prize. She won that by liking and sharing the video. So that's how you can earn one of today's cards. So we're going to be doing this one here with the what readings of this season? Seasons of Green and Gold designer series paper. And I'm pairing it with the Everyday Greetings stamp set because I'm so excited that these two go together. I know I've said it multiple times, but I just love having a good selection of sentiments and to have them coordinate. Can you imagine the amount of possibilities you can get between mixing and matching these two? I just think it's so exciting. So here is today's card. I also did another one. I did this one first and I wasn't really happy with how it came out, so I didn't even finish it, but it can be done obviously with any of our stamp sets and papers. But I liked this one. So this is what we're doing today. In the middle, I used our Stylish Shapes dies. So that's why these are out. So it was, I don't think it was quite the largest one. I think it's the next size down. Yep. So it was number 2 and 3 out of the circles that I used on the inside. So I've already got those die cut. One of the things I do when I'm getting ready to die cut, if I don't have scraps that I know are going to fit, is I lay them down on my ruler and determine, okay, it's going to fit in about, 2 7/8, maybe 3 inches. And so I'll cut my paper strip to that size. So it makes it really easy to feed through the die cutting machine, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because this one I cut at 3, this one at 2.5, and then I was able to lay them side by side and feed them through at the same time, and it made it a little faster to die cut when you can put multiple dies on the machine all at once. Here is our card base. See, these were my strips. Those are cut. The base is 4 1/4 by 11. So that's half of an 8 1/2 by 11, cut in half and scored in half. So our scored in half was at 5 1/2, and then I did it again at 6 3/4. And that's going to be the little book binding part. Let's stop this scroll. Okay. And then I needed a 6 by 6 piece of designer series paper, and then a 4 by 4 piece of designer series paper, and a 4 by 1. And I just pulled them all out of the same paper pack. And that's one of the things I love about Stampin' Up! Is they coordinate so well. So I was able to just pick up my pack of Seasons of Green and Gold and then just mix and match my patterns. And no matter how I laid it out, they all matched. So I didn't have to, go through my stash and figure out which paper was going to match with what so that I could get 3 or 4 different patterns. I just had them all in the same set. And then I was able to flip that over and then look at the back of it and see what colors were used. And so that's where I found Old Olive, and that's how I chose my base. and the ink. So just one of the many things I love about Stampin' Up. So I am going to burnish my score lines. We do this with a bone folder, and at first I didn't think the bone folder was necessary because I do it with my fingers all the time, but I do find that if I use the bone folder, I do get a sharper crease. So it is not as useless as I thought it was. It is a quite useful tool. So don't I don't want to say don't ignore, but don't think that it does nothing, because it does. Okay, so I'm going to put my 1-inch strip here on the bookbinding part, and then I'm going to put my 4-inch piece over here. And then normally the next thing we would do is glue that little bookbinding part together, but I want to put a ribbon around it. And so I want to be able to sandwich my ribbon back in here. So I want to wrap my ribbon first, and then I'm going to glue it down, and then it'll bury the ends, making it much easier to keep that steady. It also allows me to not have to wrap it around and hold my bow and tie it on the front, because that can be more difficult. I'm going to be able to tie my bow in the middle. So I'm just going to use my bow maker tool. I find this much easier to make bows with. My husband makes these, and I find them very useful because I get a perfect bow every time. So I can do a little one, or I can do one a little bit bigger. And then when I'm got it to where I want, I need scissors. Then I can cut off the end, and then it's ready to go. So I've got a perfect bow there. And then you can move the little pegs around if you wanted to try to make a bigger bow. And these do, of course, come with written and video tutorial on how to make the bows if you order one. But see, there's 2 different sizes really quick, and they're perfect. So I think I'm going to go with the bigger one for this one, because I did the little one over there. And then looks like I even cut it a little long. I was trying not to cut it too short and got it a little long. But what I can do now is I can just put a little bit of adhesive in here and then wrap my ribbon around and attach it. Okay. And so now I've got my perfect bow, and I didn't have to hold the knot on the front. Isn't that fun? Okay, then I can go ahead and adhere this. And that's a little more adhesive than I normally use, but it's because we're trying to seal this shut. I don't want it to open up when they're moving the card. So sometimes things with a lot of action, I'll either add a little more adhesive, or I'll use tear and tape so that it is very secure. So does anybody have any questions of what we've made so far? Because next I'm going to do the little pop out for inside. Thank you so much to everyone who is liking and sharing the video. That is so helpful to me. I really appreciate that. Occasionally I get someone who pops in and gives it a thumbs down, and I don't know why, but I think when I make a video, I see a video I don't like, I just stop playing it. I don't see a need to do the thumbs down, but whatever. Okay, so I'm going to do the pop out now, and I'm doing that with a 6x6 piece of paper. And what I wanted to do is make valley folds first, doing the flat ends together. So we're going to fold it in half this way. So it's a valley fold. Then I'm going to fold it in half this way for another valley fold. Okay, and then I want a mountain fold across the middle. So I'm going to take it this way, and I'm going to fold diagonally. And so this time I've got the right side out, whereas before we had the right side in. For those of you who do quilting or work with fabric, we have a right and a wrong side. But then I just took and I put it on point looking at me. And like I said, these were the valleys, and then this was the mountain. And then I just pulled my mountain pieces together and folded it down. So now I have this kind of squeeze box. Oh, Louise has a good point. The thumbs down might be someone making a mistake. I wish YouTube knew that. Okay, so it didn't affect my score like it does. But okay, so there is our middle point. That's going to be the hardest part of this entire card, is figuring out this part. Because folding in half, not a big deal. But pushing up this mountain so that it goes together is the key to making this work. Then I'm going to put adhesive on just one side. And again, I kind of put a little more than usual because it is getting movement. And then I'm going to put it in here. Now, what the key here is, I want that opening to be at the opening of the card, right? So I'm going to set this down. And I've got it, the points touching on either side and the points touching either side here. Okay. Then I'm going to put some more adhesive on this. And then keeping this together, all I'm going to do now is close the card. Okay, so now when we open it, it automatically has that pop out. So how cool is that? Any questions there? Because that's it. We're 15 minutes in and I'm almost finished with this card. We might have to make another one. Should we make another one after this? Okay, so I'm going to use Mossy Meadow ink because that is another one of the colors in our designer series paper. And then, as I said, I have the thank you so much that I pulled out of the everyday greetings. I lined it up on the grid paper so that I could make sure that my thank you was straight. And then right underneath that, I lined up the so much on another line. And so if that one is straight and this one is straight on a line, and then I aligned my block with the thick one on the edge, I've got my best chance of going straight, although we're on a circle, so the block being straight doesn't matter, but you still would want the top and the bottom sentiment not to be off kinker. And then we're just going to stamp in the middle of this circle. And then we're going to adhere it to this one. There is a very, very slight difference in the stitching from one side to the other. Not much. But you can see that this was obviously the side up into the die when I cut it. So most times I don't even notice, but if that kind of thing bothers you, that's how you can tell, is that these indentations go down and these have more of a shiny color to it on the back. Oh, good morning from Australia. Welcome. So nobody answered me. Should we do another card, or do you think you've got this one nailed? And there is our bookbinding pop-out card. Okay. So let's see what else we have over here. And let's see if I can do something with this. One of the things about this is I don't really want to make my 6x6 square. If I can help it, I don't want to do it with something directional. Something directional would work great on the outside of the card, but once we turn it on point and we're folding, we really don't want a direction. So although the jingle bells would work well, that would not work well. Let's see. Yeah, this is a lot of directional. So let me grab something else. I love this paper, and it looks adorable on the outside, but I don't really want to turn it on edge. Okay, so let's work with this one. So I'm going to use this as my 6x6 for the inside. And I love our paper trimmer. Our new one has this little lip over to the side. So as long as I push it straight in, this is a 6-inch cut. So it's cutting the paper in half and then in half again, because our papers come in 12 by 12 for these. Let's see. So let's do green and red on the outside. So I'm going to do the 1 inch by 4 inch. And then we need a 4 by 4. And you can see that this green is once again going to match, so we can cut our circles out of this. Is everybody ready for the holiday? I feel like it sneaked up on me like really fast. I was not prepared. Both of the kids are out of state. My son's in Nevada. He works in Henderson for the VA. And then my daughter works in Albuquerque. And they both have fantastic jobs, but it keeps them very busy. And with the snow and everything, getting in and out of an airport here is kind of complicated because Boise's about 2 hours and Salt Lake's about 3 hours. So I don't mind driving that distance in the summer months, but I don't want to book a flight 2 months in advance and then worry about whether or not the roads will be clear. So it's kind of a bummer. We haven't seen the kids for Christmas in, yikes, 12 years. So everything has already been purchased and shipped in boxes. Although for the granddaughter, she's 3, we bought a box and didn't ship, and we kept shopping. So we had to buy a bigger box, and then we kept shopping, and then we had to buy a bigger box. And I thought, we better get this thing in the mail. So now that's off, and my husband's still shopping. So we've decided those are going to be for her birthday, which is January. So, okay, let's see. Now we need our base. Nope, this is real red. I feel like this one's more of a cherry cobbler. What do you think? Yeah, I like that better. See, that's one of the things about Stampin' Up! Is the colors match so well. So I'm going to make this 4 1/4 by 11. So I'm cutting this in half long way. And I'm going to score it in half at 5 1/2. And then I would move it over and do 6 3/4 because basically I want 1 1/4 here. So one of the things I'll often do when I don't want to, you know, fold out this arm is I can put my score line at the 1 1/4 and then score again. And that got me my 6 3/4 line. Okay. So once again, we're going to fold in half. We're going to burnish with the bone folder. Hopefully this is helpful if you decide to recreate this card, that I've done it twice, because you can watch the first time and the second time you can craft along with me. Okay, I'm going to put this on the front. I think this paper is just gorgeous. So elegant. And I think that's what it's called, Season of Elegance. Oh, well, you know, I already had a bow tie. Where did I put that? Okay, so there's our base. That's a book binding card in landscape. Then we're going to take our paper for the inside. Again, this is 6 by 6. This ribbon is the gold and silver 1/8 inch, I believe. Because it came as a set because there's no labeling on it, so it must have come in a bag. But it's 1/8 inch. It's something that came out for the holiday. Probably an online exclusive item, I guess. Somebody else know? Okay, so remember, first we're going to go kind of sandwich squared up with valley folds. And we're going to go both directions. So we're going to fold in half this way. We're going to open it up and we're going to fold in half this way. Both as valley folds, meaning they go down. Now I want a diagonal that's going to be a mountain. So I'm going to put right side out. And we're making this one a mountain. Okay, now it kind of almost falls together. If we make that kind of point down, it gives you this kind of a, I say, a fortune cookie kind of feel to it. And then we're going to make these two mountains come together in the middle. And that's going to give us our little squeeze box. We can again work on just burnishing it out. Then I'm going to put adhesive on just one side. A little more than I normally use because it's something that's going to get action. And then I'm going to put it in here on point. And I'm going to match these two and these two with the edges. And the key is to have that opening to the squeeze box to the opening of our card, so that when we open the card, this squeeze box part automatically opens up. Then I'm going to keep it closed, this part closed, put more adhesive, and then I'm just going to close our card. Okay. And there we have that. So now all I need to do is stamp our inside, and we've made card number 2, and we're still not even a half an hour yet. So these are very quick and easy. So if you're looking for something that you can make en masse to send out thank you cards for your Christmas presents, this might be just the trick. And we know as card makers how much it means to people to get an actual piece of mail that's not a window envelope with a bill inside. To know that someone cared enough to send you something in the mail in the first place, and then the fact that you handmade it, it really makes people feel special. And now that we're going into the winter season, people kind of suffer from the winter blues, and it might be just the best time to start sending out more cards. What do y'all think? So there we go. And then we can choose if we wanted to put some kind of focal point on the front, or just leave it with that gorgeous paper. So now we have options. We have the, this thank you was out of Softly Said, which is soon retiring. So if you like this stamp set with these nice, big, bold images, this is on the retiring list. And then the Seasons of Green and Gold, and the Season of Elegance Designer Series paper. Stampin' Up! Has announced what's retiring out of our mini catalog for September to December. And they've combined the clearance rack and the last chance list into a new category called Last Chance. And so everything that they decide they're going to start getting rid of, that they're going to retire out from the online exclusives, from the mini, from the annual, they're all going to go into this last chance category. And then it's kind of going to stay there until it almost runs out. I say almost because I don't know if something didn't run out in an extended period of time, if they would keep it there forever and ever and ever. But the idea is that Stampin' Up! Wants to be able to have this category where they can put their retired items and still sell them even after the catalog has ended. Whereas in the past, when they retired something out of the catalog, once it ended, you couldn't get it even anymore, even if Stampin' Up! Had more stock, and then it just popped up on the clearance rack later. So now they're just going to put it out there and leave it out there and simplify things for all of us. So has everybody put in their wish for a catalog? Either you have placed an order or you have filled out my catalog request form, because we do now have the celebration catalogs. Anybody who ordered from me in the last year already has one coming in the mail. Those have already been sent bulk mail, so they should be coming out soon. If you are not a current customer of mine and you want to be, and you'd like to have a catalog, you can go to my website, queenbeecreations.net, and then request a catalog from there. So thank you to all of you for joining me, and I hope to see you back here again on Thursday for another live. So thank you so much. Bye.